are warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Hey guys, Bix Weir, roadtoroot.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of decaffeinated tea with chaga. Take your vitamin C, take your vitamin D especially. Vitamin D, loads of it. Good idea if you don't want to spend money on vitamin D. 12 o'clock noon to 12:30, go out in the sun, take your shirt off, especially if you're a girl. Take your shirt off and sit in the sun and soak up the rays. That gets you plenty of vitamin D, half an hour a day. All right? It's important because vitamin D fights off this goddamn virus. All right? Good. I posted a couple really cool interviews and discussions at Road to Ruta. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit subscribe. Oh, looks like I haven't subscribed to my own. Hit subscribe because YouTube keeps taking people off the subscribe side. I heard YouTube has a new czar over there who overlooks everything, and she's a complete lefty. Good night. Any hope for YouTube? Until YouTube is not shut down, senior management removed or arrested, you're not going to get free speech on YouTube. So it is what it is. We all have to basically censor our own speech if we want to even be seen on YouTube, which sucks and killed Cliff High's data. But hey, 2 videos I put up yesterday, a video with Jean-Claude from Beyond Mystic. Go check out that video. We talk about silver scandals, which I'll be talking about today, more silver stuff, and mysteries of life. We get into a great conversation. Go check that out. Our friend's from Canada. He's Canadian. I asked him about Canada. Why is Canada? What's wrong with Canada? A bunch of pussies up there. And he said, we're just polite. I don't agree. I think they're locked into that socialist system up there. And hey, if you're going to be polite to a socialist agenda, there's not much hope for that. Get out of that crap. Be like America. Go crazy. Be crazy. Because craziness is going to save your country. Otherwise, you're going to sit there and do whatever Trudeau says. He's going to vax you up. He's going to take away your guns and just silence you. I mean, he's controlled by the Queen. We all know that. So it's time for Canadians to get out of the house. At least, hey, winter's almost over. Get out of the house. But great discussion, great guy. Make sure you subscribe to his channel too. And then also today I posted 10 minutes on a complete explanation by myself and Cliff High to Jim Sinclair, Mr. Gold. And below it is the link to the full interview. This was done in 2017. But I posted it because it's a good explanation of what Bitcoin is and why it's important. And go check that out. It's called Bitcoin Explained to Gold Bugs in 10 minutes. You'll really like that. Cliff does an amazing job. I did okay. Cliff did an amazing job. And then Jim basically said, yeah, that's pretty, I get it now. Thanks for explaining it. So it was really cool. And then the full interview, we discuss other gold and gold versus Bitcoin things. So it's an interesting interview, Joe. Check it out. Now let's look at silver. So here's what happened to the silver during lockdown. Silver price during lockdown, it was bumping up towards $19 at the end of February. And then bang, all of a sudden coronavirus hits and silver gets slammed down artificially by Steve Mnuchin and friends. 100% artificial. Look what gold did versus look what silver did. Silver is so much more important than gold to keeping the banking system alive. Silver has to be manipulated 100% of the time at all times. The good thing for you if you're a silver investor is that you get to buy silver at one of the cheapest relative points to gold in the history of history. In the history of history. You can buy 110 ounces of silver or 1 ounce of gold. On the flip side, you can take your gold and swap it for 110 ounces or so. Obviously, there's commission. So say probably 100 ounces. You can get 100 ounces. You can get 100 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold. If you own gold, you're insane. There's so much gold out there. I've proven Massive amounts. There's not 200,000 tons. There's millions of tons of gold out there. It's just hidden from you. And it's kept in the ground until, did you know in California, in the gold richest area of California down south, that 41% of all of California is owned by the federal government? Why? Because they're saving the gold to dig up when the old system fails. And we're getting close to that. Dianne Feinstein did it. She locked up in the desert wildlife preserves and shit like that. 41% of California is owned by the federal government. California will never, ever, ever go independent. Breakaway state. Bullshit. You don't think the federal government with its military would say, okay, you can do whatever you want with your 59%, but our 41% you better stay off, and our military is going to be there to shoot any California National Guard or any lefty who tries to go in there. I'm a little bitter on California right now. Although the people of California are starting to stir. I love it. They're starting to protest. They're starting to say this was bullshit. Even the lefties are saying this is bullshit to their government, and we're coming out of our houses. Nobody is questioning Gavin Newsom on this very fact that you get massive amounts of vitamin D from the sun, and he's telling us don't go to the beach. Vitamin D is the key cure. The key to defending yourself against the coronavirus. The key is vitamin D. And nobody's saying, hey, what about the vitamin D? Gavin, you're making us stay inside where the air is foul and the stench of you not showering and all the beer you consumed during this time. And you won't let us go to the beach to get cured from this thing so we can go back to work. There's a problem there, my friends. It's a big problem. Unfortunately, a large chunk of the businesses in California will never survive. They'll go back to opening up, but people have changed everything about what they do, how they act. Everything has changed. Some businesses will recover, but a second round of this bioweapon is going to be unleashed, and then that'll be basically the seal, the end of the game. And if you're on the road to Ruta, on the private road, check out the timeline. All right, but back to silver. So silver is basically as cheap as it's ever been. Now, you don't even have to go through the 20 years of pain I have in investing in silver and fighting the market rigors in silver. You don't have to go through the 50 years. Is it 50 years? 95. All right, 35 years that Ted Butler had to go through the pain of seeing the manipulation of silver, understanding it, proving it, but still having it manipulated. You don't have to go through that. You could just say, hey, send an email to Andy at Miles Franklin. By the way, Miles Franklin has silver in inventory. Silver's starting to loosen up as far as inventory. People are getting the inventory in. Everybody was ordering everything. It's starting to flow again. The mints are starting to coin again. Eagles are still a little tough, but the premiums are coming down. So send an email to Andy Scheckman at Miles Franklin. Andy at milesfranklin.com if you're interested in getting physical silver at the cheapest point in history relative to gold. Insane number. And then you sit on your silver and you don't move. You don't move. Sit on your silver throne. Those of you saying silver is too hard to store, what a great problem to have. When silver goes to $1,000 an ounce, you really think it's going to be too hard to store? When you're like, oh, I wish I got a whole lot more back when Bix was screaming about it at $15 silver. No, you can't get silver at $15. That's a fake price. I don't know where you can right now, but send Andy an email. He promised Road to Ruta subscribers that he would get us the best price. So hold him to it. Speaking of subscriptions, did I tell you? 69,006. Basically, YouTube has locked down my subscribers and taken away subscribers. If you once subscribed and you look at your thing and you say, oh my God, I'm not subscribed. What happened? It's because YouTube takes them away. I'm pumping for 70,000. I want 70,000 subscribers in the next couple days. It's been literally over a year that I've had between 60 and 70, and they just will not let it go up. I know at 100 you get like some manager. I want to meet my manager at YouTube when I get 100,000. So hit subscribe, please, and a like button. Subscribe and a like. But let's keep talking about silver. Yes, great time to buy silver. Why? Because the silver rigging job for the last 150 years is ending. 150 years of banksters and criminals and governments rigging the price of silver is ending. How do I know it's ending? Things like this. This does not happen unless there's an endgame coming. JP Morgan's metal desk was a criminal enterprise, the U.S. government said. This is back in September 2019. JP Morgan itself was a criminal enterprise. The company, which means all the board of directors, all senior management is going to get locked into this thing. It's not like they didn't know. Ted Butler has been sending Jamie Dimon and whoever the head was of JP Morgan at the time all of his information proving silver manipulation. There's been 3 investigations on silver manipulation by the CFTC, that criminal organization, but still 3 investigations, and they're in the middle of the 4th. That is something that nobody really talks about. Let's take a look. This is from September. This is when they announced that JP Morgan, not just the 6 traders were being investigated, 2 of them, these are RICO charges, which is racketeering, influence, and corrupt organizations. Fines for RICO are 3 times what they sold. So, what they stole. I always say sold. Stole. JP Morgan at least stole 1 billion ounces of physical silver by suppressing the price on the COMEX and taking physical off the markets. They were even buying silver eagles as a authorized participant and melting them down. That's how important silver is. So yes, silver right now, cheapest as it's ever going to be. 110 to 1 right now versus gold. If you own an ounce of gold, even an ounce, I mean, it's fun to look at and all, but why not swap it for silver? And Andy Scheckman will do that for you. Again, Andy at milesfranklin.com. And yes, he does have inventory. Send him an email and see what he's got. And buy as much as you can. That's my, not financial advice. That's what I'm doing. JP Morgan's role in metal spoofing is under U.S. criminal probe. I love this stuff. Now check what this says. Listen to this. U.S. authorities that accuse 6 JP Morgan Chase employees of rigging precious metals are building a criminal case against the bank itself, 2 people familiar with the situation said. The previously unreported, now this came out in February, the previously unreported investigation of the global parents company, part of a wide-ranging federal clampdown on market manipulation, raises the prospect of criminal charges and significant fines against America's bank. No formal accusations have been made against JP Morgan. A bank spokeswoman, Jessica Francisco, declined to comment and pointed to company filings from last year disclosing that the Justice Department's criminal division was investigating, quote, trading practices in the metal market and related conduct. But here's the interesting thing. Investigators at the Department of Justice and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission are at least 2 years into their examination of trading of JP Morgan's precious metals desk. That means that is a 4th investigation into JP Morgan silver trading by the CFTC. 4 times. 2 of these traders at JP Morgan have already admitted to not only rigging markets, but conspiring with other banks to rig markets. Admitted. And I think 4 of them are fighting it. Admitted. And Bart Chilton, CFTC commissioner, said they had proof when he was on the commission that JP Morgan was absolutely breaking the law in the silver market. When they took over the Bear Stearns short position, they had a certain amount of time to get out of it and have not such a concentrated position. They did not do that. They went completely against the law and rigged the markets all the way through the 2011 artificial price hike and then slammed down, creating the artificial silver bear market that we're still in today. And 4 times the CFTC can't find silver market rigging. That what does that tell you? That tells you the CFTC was put there to run cover for the manipulation. So yes, absolutely buy your silver now. I would start with your local coin shop. Go to your local coin shop if it's open and buy them out of their inventory. Because you can get it right there with your cash, walk in with your cash, walk out with your silver. If you don't have a local coin shop or you think you're going to get ripped off, send Andy Scheckman an email. All right? Good. Now let's talk about Steve Mnuchin's market rigging of the markets. Absolutely ridiculous. The stock market is more overvalued than it's been since 2000. Who knows how long? Probably the most ever. S&P 12-month forward PE ratio is up to 21 to 25 right now. Insane. And you think any of these companies are going to have any earnings going forward for the next year at least? No. That ratio, if the stock market stays elevated because Steve Mnuchin keeps rigging it and the Fed keeps buying ETFs and stocks, you're going to see that ratio go up to 100, 200, 300 PE. That's what a con this whole game is. It's insane. And speaking of insane, I hear that the energy markets, the WTI futures market is up to $25.75. Yes, this was the same market that saw a negative print on the delivery date of minus $40. As we get closer and closer to the delivery date of May 19th, this is insane that the price keeps going up. Insane. Because why? The idiots on Wall Street and idiot investors in ETFs chase price movement. They're going to, if it keeps going up, they buy more and more and more, not thinking at all about the delivery date on the 19th. Oh, it's before the 19th. I don't have to get out yet. How many contracts need to get out right now? 237,000 contracts. That's the open interest at the close of the trading in the WTI yesterday. That equates to 237 million barrels of oil that need to be delivered in just, 10 days or so? How many business days left until today's the 6th or 7th? 6th. What is today? 7th. It's the 7th. And the delivery date is the 19th, and there's four weekends in there. That's insane. 8 more trading days, and there's still open interest of 237 million barrels that need to be delivered of West Texas Intermediate oil. That's the major oil contract. You want to know how big the delivery of the derivative market for oil is? Just go look at the volumes of this one single contract. This is just one contract. And there's hundreds of different contracts in oil. And derivatives go through the roof. Look at this day. On April 21st, 4.5 million contracts. That's 4.5 billion barrels of oil derivatives traded on April 21st. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. The price of oil is completely devoid of anything related to the underlying commodity. And this is just one derivative contract. It is so. I hear through the grapevine that 2 banks have already failed and were bailed out. Not fully bailed out, it just covered up the holes in them. Massive holes being blown in these banks because of that oil derivative. 2 banks. Big ones. Supposedly the big winner, JP Morgan. Surprise, surprise. The criminal bank of all criminal banks. The bank that's up on RICO charges. Except they never arrest anybody and they never stop anybody. They're waiting for that moment when the whole system falls apart, and then they can start blaming people and arresting people. Blythe Masters and Jamie Dimon will go down for silver manipulation. Absolutely, at least for the last 10 years of silver manipulation. Insane world we live in. So hey, all you people out there looking to have a little fun in oil, and you like the price going up 7% today, go get yourself some WTI contracts. See what happens on the 19th or before the 19th. Oh my God, I can't believe it's going down again. It's past the $40 mark. It's past $50. It's past $6. It's up to down minus $100. Can you believe it? Pandemonium. Yep, that's the crazy world we live in. Right now, as of today, I am still giving away 100 Theta and 100 Theta Fuel. If you go to roadtoroota.com, hit subscribe today on the private road, I will mail these to your front door. You will be having a Guardian mode on your smart TV in the future. And most likely, it'll be running a Theta Guardian node, and you will be mining Theta for your little bits of Theta Fuel. That is what the future is. Samsung is working with Theta. It is going to happen. Right now, Theta is at 15 cents a token. At 20 cents, I'm stopping this giveaway. If you want to get your hands on some, just subscribe to the Road to Ruta today. It's a 1-year subscription. You also get a silver coin, the coolest coin ever, and you can't get that coin anywhere else, maybe on eBay. Double stamped, each numbered, Ruta jumping up and down on the silver brick road, the cave of gold there in the Grand Canyon, and you get 100 Theta and 100 Theta Fuel. Go check it out. Hit subscribe today. It's a 1-year membership for $299, less than $1 a day. Check it out. Join the Road to Ruta. Get in on all the fun. You also get the timeline. The timeline, which is a crazy one right now. Come check it out. This is Bix. I'll see you guys down the road.